Last question I want to touch upon on the personal side is that how do you go about becoming smarter and understanding the world? Because obviously you need to hone that skill all the time. I mean, Antler is building great startups in every different industry and in every country. So do you like to go really deep on subjects, reading about them, or do you manage to use your network a lot, talk to great people to discuss, or how does your learning process look?
Yes, so I read a lot of books. Um, I also listen to a ton of podcasts. So everyone is listening to this. You're doing, I guess, the same thing that I do. Uh, and I try to do a lot of the books and podcasts I try to do when I'm doing other things, typically exercise, right? So, if you go out on a great thing, if you go out on a 2 hour run or 1.5 hour run and you put on a book or you put on a podcast, uh, not only do you get in better shape, but you also learn a ton on the way. And you forget a little bit about, you being tired during the run. So I think it's a great mechanism. I think it's important to also surround yourself with people, not necessarily all the time, but you should think about the people in your network that you can learn a lot from, and spend real time with them, and ensure that they that they allocate some time to spend with you, right? So I've tried to identify those individuals throughout my life and proactively reached out to them. So for example, in Antler now, you will see that Larry Summers is one of our global advisors. He used to be the Secretary of Treasury of Bill Clinton. He used to be the president of Harvard when I was there. And I remained in contact with him since I was there. And when we then started Antler and I could tell the Antler story, he came on board and he was very supportive and has obviously been very helpful for us in that journey. Same with Tore Myrholt, who used to run McKinsey in the Nordics, and is now our chairman. Same with Dominic Barton, he used to run McKinsey globally. And there are individuals like this that you meet all the time, that you might not at the time you meet them, you're a student or you're an employee or whatever you are, but at some point in time, they become a sparring partner for you and very helpful for whatever journey you're trying to accomplish. So take kind of good care of relationships of very interesting people you meet that you think can teach you something, and you think can be helpful for you in the future, and then support them, and you'll get support back, and that I think is a great learning. And you never know when you meet these people, right? So I mentioned earlier our glacier trips, right? So one of the people that I was very lucky to take on the glacier was Tellef Thorleifsson, who's one of the founders of Norfund, and one of the founders of Northzone. He's now leading Norfund, and every time I've been in Norway the last year, I reached out to him and asked if he had an hour to spend with me and share learnings from his Northzone journey. Northzone obviously was the biggest investor in Spotify and one of Norway's most successful venture capital companies, one of the most successful venture capital companies in Europe. And if you get the chance to spend an hour with such a person every day, every year, that helps you a lot on your journey if you want to do venture capital later, which I'm now doing. So, you never know when you meet these people. We met each other on the glacier. You meet them in your university, or you meet them in your job, or you meet them on the bus, or you meet them at the party. Doesn't matter. But if you meet really interesting people that you think can teach you something and be helpful, reach out to them. Worst thing that happens is they say, no, I unfortunately don't have time. Best case, and it's still they will appreciate that you reached out, because everyone feels appreciated when you reach out and want to learn. Best case scenario, you have kind of a mentor that has 10 to 20 years experience within an area that you would like to learn a lot about and can be very helpful for your journey. So I encourage everyone to do that. And I learn a lot from people directly, but then also read a lot of books and podcasts. And every day I also read the news, probably about 4 or 5 different newspapers, but typically just scan through them quickly. I encourage that, but I do it because I really enjoy it. I'm not doing it particularly to learn every day.